involved in the African drumming community for, I don't know, about 10 years, going on 11 now. Started out playing some djembe and some junjuns, as mostly white people call them. Dunes, if you're being appropriate, I guess, or if you really want to break it down, kinkani and songbon and dulumbao. But I've gotten into the Ave stuff too. Chimevu, Kagan, Kidi, Sogo, Gankogui. Get the fuck over here. As well as some of the Sabar drumming, the Senegalese stuff. So, for a percussionist, I feel like I'm fairly well versed in that stuff. I never got into the mbira playing. I think that shit's awesome, but I don't know. I want to talk about African drumming, and I was fortunate enough to go to Africa and just to Ghana, and I've also been able to play some drums with some legends of African drumming. Gideon Foley Alawoyi being one of my top musicians, just one of the fucking greatest people alive as far as African drums, dance, folklore, history, all that stuff. Weedy Brema, amazing djembe kola, who is becoming more and more known. I was fortunate enough to play alongside both those cats. Another guy, Jose Tojo from Suriname, doing some of the Vindi style drumming. And I don't know. Like I said, I've got some experience, and so when I went to Ghana, I'd been reading John Miller Chernoff's book, African Rhythm and African Sensibility, and I read that book a few times, checked it out from the library, marked all in it, wrote just all that stuff. I was really into it, and so I went to Ghana, and man, it was awful. For me, I went over there expecting there to be like drums everywhere, and of course that was a bullshit thing to think. I had a fairly, I guess, biased experience over there. It was through a school, through a local guy who was a Presbyterian dude, and so most of the stuff we saw was through we'll call it a white Jesus point of view, and so I got to play drums a few times over there, and really experience what the drumming is like over there, and to play with the master drummer and all that stuff, and tons of fun. But I was so disappointed while I was there, because it's like the most of the people that I met, they didn't give a shit about African drumming. The Africans, they could care less. They were more interested in cell phones and becoming more American. They didn't care about their culture at all. We being colonialization, they'll say, have shoved this idea down their throat that their culture bad, our culture good, and you need to become more civilized, and you need to get with the times and all that kind of stuff. And so I was expecting, like I said, to be able to play drums and a whole bunch, and I only saw folks really playing a few times. And I remember one particular instance, we went to a market, and I was over there interested in getting some African drums. I wanted to buy some drums, and so me and my teacher, the Venerable Trip Braden from Lexington, Kentucky, we find this drum shop set up in the market, and they've got some bells and the lead drum, chimevu, and all this stuff, and so like we're like, yeah, like awesome, let's jam a little bit, and so kind of checking out the bell, and I start playing the bell pattern, going king, 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 and Trip starts throwing down on the chimevu. He studied with Gideon, played with him for years, and the fucking strangest thing, like, man, all these Africans come over, they whip out their cell phones, and they start videotaping us. I expected the experience to be completely opposite, where I would be over there and I'm like the guy with my cell phone, videotaping these Africans playing. No, they don't give a shit. Like one guy came over and started dancing, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know, but it seemed like very much like this sort of novelty thing. So that was one experience. Now, another experience, we got to go to a few different, excuse me, a few different churches, poor little raccoon, a few different churches, and man, how painful is it to go to an African church? You're in Ghana, you're across the fucking side of the world essentially, and they're playing the same goddamn praise band songs that I played in Paris, Kentucky, with like an all-white church essentially. I mean, God, it's like your heart just drops, and you just feel like, what have we done to this like once beautiful country and people? We've ruined these people. You know, they're singing the same fucking praise shit that I was trying so hard to get away from, and it's like right there in my face. They had the picture of the white Jesus on the wall. You know, another church we went to, they didn't even have fucking drums. They had a drum machine. It's like a guy on a keyboard, and he like pushes the button like boop 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 boop. Just man. So it was awful to have those experiences over there when I had this you know, false idea built up in my mind that, you know, drumming really meant something over there. And Tripp tried his best to explain it to me, you know, how like it's kind of like the way a lot of people maybe see banjo players or, you know, bluegrass music or something like that. Like, oh, that's kind of some hick, up in the hills, hollers, you know, some hillbilly type shit. It's not really something that people want to do. They don't appreciate it the same way as maybe an outsider looking in does. Because for them, it's just culture, and it's probably not doing very much for them as far as, you know, making them any money or getting them a job or anything like that. And so, you know, they care fucking less about playing some Ave drums, you know, even if they are Ave. They're probably trying to turn really far away from that stuff. Now, of course, you can go to cultural centers, and these things are still being taught, mostly to Westerners. You know, I asked the guys, I was like, you know, who the African, you know, Ghanaian folks come and study? And he's like, no, man, it's only the white folks that come over here. You know, it's only like, no, our people don't really care about this stuff. And so it's such a shame, you know, to experience that lapse in culture. It's like this. It's like we've ripped the heart out of these people, and that's exactly what we've done. Now, you know, people, and you know, everybody's bashing on white people nowadays, you know, white people and Europeans, you know, sure bear the brunt of a lot of this. But I mean, our history has been, you know, the whole world history has been a series of being conquered, and you know, your culture is pretty much wiped out. You know, Islam, you know, convert by the sword, Mongolians, you know, I mean, pretty much anywhere you fucking go, this sort of thing happens. But just awful. And so the one actual drumming experience I did have over there, it was amazing. Of course, you know, we were doing some dancing the first day. I'm a terrible dancer, just awful. You know, the whitest moment that I had over there, where I'm like, geez, I'm bad off with it. We were doing some dance, and they had this beat, and I was hearing it like this, like real funky, like dirty South kind of like boom, boom, jack, boom, 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 jack, boom, 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 jack, boom. And I'm like, man, that's fucking hip. And I'm dancing, you know, boom, boom, back, going, boom, boom, back, going. And I'm like, man, this shit's awesome. And then I was looking around, and I'm like, man, these guys are like super coordinated. Like everybody's dancing on the offbeat. Like that's insane how they're like dancing on the offbeat. And gradually, I kind of realized they're not dancing on the offbeat, buddy. You are. And so square. So the actual rhythm is more of an upbeat dance thing. Boom, 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 boom. Got boom, 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 boom. Bop, boom, go, got boom, go, got. Now that's part of the beauty of African drumming for me, is that there are these different ways of hearing it. I've kind of talked about it as like a choose your own beat kind of thing. And of course that's inaccurate. You know, everybody knows where the fucking beat's at. But for me, you know, I definitely was like, geez, I'm super white. Hang on, I gotta take a turn here. And so that was a pretty embarrassing moment over there. But then I did get to play drums the next day, and man, what an experience to be able to play with these guys over there. And some hard shit, you know, keeping up these rhythms, playing the kagan, all upbeats, all offbeats, you know. And we played for like an hour and a half or something like that. I remember the master drummer came over, and sat down like right next to me. Like I had to like stop playing, kind of, or not stop, but I had to like adjust how I was playing just to even be able to keep playing, because he sat so close to me. And to me, it felt sort of like this like test or something, you know. I'm like, oh man, this guy's like really, he's gonna listen to me and check me out and everything, you know. And we ended up playing, you know, like I said, for about an hour or something like that, and just a great experience over there. It felt like it was all of like 5 minutes, you know, to play with that. And you know, I really, it was kind of the saving grace of the whole trip. I really did feel like I was transported, or not so much transported, but like I tapped into something that could have happened 500 years ago in the same exact spot. Like, this type of thing has been going on for that long, this drumming and this dancing, and well, even way longer, I'm sure. And it felt like my body floated above the entire experience, and I was looking down on it, and not really aware of my body, but completely tuned in. And you know, it's like hopping on a freight train or something like that. Like, when the train doesn't stop, you know, you just jump on and get a hitch a ride. Now, of course, trains stop, so that's kind of a bad analogy. But my point is that I was tapping into something greater, and that's the one experience I had that really saved the whole thing. Because, God damn it, the rest of it sucked. I mean, you know, I saw some drums. We went to one of the slave castles. We went to two slave castles, actually. And in one castle, there was definitely some folks playing drums. And it felt more, you know, like that. I mean, they were obviously doing it for tips and stuff like that. But that was great to see people playing. And I've got some footage somewhere, I think, of that stuff. If I can find it and get that uploaded, maybe I'll put that up, because it was great stuff. But just really sad, you know, to go over there and feel like, you know, these Africans like don't even give a shit about their culture anymore. Now, we were in the more cityfied areas. You know, we went to Accra, Kumasi, and places like that. Now, in the villages, they did a little bit of drums, but even in some of the villages, they were playing more like reggae and stuff, and had like a drum set and amplifiers and stuff. And that's awesome. I love it. And so I had a very narrow-minded point of view going into it, of course, that everybody's like knows how to play drums or something over there, or dances and loves all that stuff and everything. But you really have to search for it and go to the right spots, you know. So if you're getting into African drumming, you know, and you're going to go over there, you know, make sure you're going to the right spots, and that where you're going to actually see the things you're interested in seeing, because it can be very disappointing to go over and just be met with sort of this kind of like novelty of like, oh, these white dudes want to learn how to play our drums, like, neat, huh, weird. I don't want to do that, you know. So I don't know. Anyways, that's all. I got to go to work, guys, but just want to throw that out there.